So I was watching a YouTube channel. I forget the name. I mean, like I don't know if I can pronounce the name of the channel. It's kind of a the spelling of it and stuff, how the words come together. But the episode was I think it was 1967 or 1968, and it was hippies were being beaten up by blacks and Puerto Ricans because the hippies were moving in and gentrifying their neighborhood. And I'm often kind of thought of this way. I think of the movies that are made about the hippies, and oftentimes you'll see it's either like the people beating them up or giving them a hard time are the old the white working class Archie Bunker types are the redneck types in the movie Easy Rider. But I think there's another reality to it, And the hippie movement was largely a white movement. They believed in pacifism, and that has struck among a lot of whites. A lot of them are very pacifist, and they're also, in a lot of ways, rather naive about certain things. And gentrification is very much seems kind of hypocritical. It's if people of European descent or white people move in, and even in Europe, like in England, uh, if white people move in, they call it gentrification. But if people of color move in, it's called diversity, And it's kind of it's what's mine is mine. But hey, you people, you white people, and you people of European descent, what's yours? Well, that's for everyone, of course, because of colonialism and whatnot. You gotta kind of pay the price and deal with the hypocrisy because you guys, you destroyed the world with your presence. Even though I don't think we necessarily, I mean, with the exception of Australia and America, that necessarily people of European descent. India is still majority Indian, and their major city is, major, majority of people of Indian descent. Japan, I mean, we do have troops over there, but the major, Tokyo is still vastly, that of the Japanese. So it's the kind of hypocrisy that you see. It's like you ask a question, and but they always say that it's because of colonialism, but colonialism didn't necessarily ethnically replace it. Also, it was done by the elites. It wasn't done by the majority population. The same thing with slavery. Slavery was done by the elites. Uh, the white populace had no decision whether uh, blacks were brought here or not. Whites came here because they were starving and hungry where they were, or some were perhaps even forced to come here, maybe under some form of indentured servitude. So, kind of is what it is, you know. There is a mayoral election going on in New York, and I guess they have it voting by ranking and wonder who's going to win. You know, uh, it's kind of interesting, and I guess a socialist has won in New York, in Buffalo, New York. So what can you do? You know, is this a good thing? Socialism, something that we never would have accepted probably 30, 40 years ago. Now we're openly embracing it. You know, they think, I guess it's a good thing, and I don't know. Uh, they say Sweden is not that. You know, people point to Sweden as a good form of socialism, but Sweden has said, I think Sweden has said that they're not a socialist country. It's hard to tell. Some things are so like, you know, if you say socialism or Marxism or this or that, they'll say, you don't even know what it is. Can you explain it? And the same thing with critical race theory. They ask you, can you explain it? And there is there's oftentimes no concrete definition. And if you get a definition, they'll say it's wrong, you're taking it out of context. You know, there's a lot of gaslighting and game playing going on. You know, you kind of know the end result is people are playing games with you, and individuals are not necessarily respecting who you are as a human being. And sometimes you have to deal with it. You know, it's kind of like, you know, having parents that are dysfunctional. You just have to deal with it until you can break away and be free. And some people are not lucky enough to do any of that. They have to depend, uh, you know, maybe they have a disability or whatnot, and they have to depend on their parents, on dysfunctional people for the rest of their lives. There are women who are forced into marriage in other countries, and they have to depend on those. Those women have to depend on those abusive husbands for the rest of their lives. And today, the establishment, you know, there are things you have to depend on from the establishment. And, uh, you know, I'd like to think, you know, I'd starve first, but no way would I. I did fast. The longest I fasted for was almost 6 days. But by that fifth day, around 3 a.m., I couldn't even sleep. I wanted food. And that's the way it goes. Your body's going to want food, and you will give in to anything. You'll sign, you know, you'll say, I'm a proud communist just to get that bread or that meat that they're serving you. If there's nothing else to eat, you're going to eat it. So we're not as high as principles as we can. We can always strive to be stronger and to be tougher. But there comes a time when the body wants what it wants, and your principles be damned. You're going to give in, and you're going to survive, and you will even renounce your faith. On average, there are perhaps a few that are strong enough that they can withstand it. But human beings are human beings, and I always strive for my own self-discipline. I'm fasting right now, and you know, lately I haven't been able to even have a day without wanting, you know, where the hunger overtakes me. But today I'm going to try to have that discipline and not eat, and try to work as hard as I can. And my goal is to find others who work hard. But if I don't, I don't. My opinion is work hard, um, stay fast to your diet, and don't necessarily do things that are detrimental. And for me, the fasting helps, control many other aspects, including anger. Because if I can control what's in my mouth, my food, I can also have better control of my emotions in general. Anyway, this has been Brian with Transparency and Merit. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below.